What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Truckit Prowl here. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm going to tell you about a few pros and cons of the industry, so I'm going to get straight into it. So check this out, everybody. Today we're going to get straight into the pros and cons of the industry, and believe me, there are a lot of both. So let's get started. So obviously the first thing and the most important thing is the pay is pretty decent. I get paid to drive around all day in a big truck. It's like being a little kid again, except for this time I'm not playing with toys, just a real thing, and I'm getting paid for it. What more could you want? And also, what other job do you get a portable bed where you can literally decide when and where you want to sleep? I pulled up at a job now. It's going to be about an hour and a half. Get my head down. Because that's the most important thing about this job, is you don't want to be falling asleep at the wheel. It's one of those jobs as well where you can pick and choose when you want to take your lunch. You're not controlled. There's no limits to when and where you can take your break. As long as you're taking it and making sure that you're compliant with the legal requirements, take it where you want. Now, with that said, it's not to say that there isn't some cons. Being stuck in traffic is like being in a purgatory, except for there's no angels and there's a few horns and a few, let's say, unnecessary gestures from other road users. Another thing is keeping the damn things clean. This was literally washed 4 days ago. With our roads, how salty and gritty they are, it just is an endless cycle of getting dirty. So yeah, especially if you want to do it yourself, you need a pretty big step ladder. And you would think that parking a truck's easy, right? Nah, it's a bit like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. It really can be a pain, especially if you're in a services in the UK where the space between each lorry is pretty minuscule. And also fines, speeding fines, parking fines, yellow box fines. For anyone that doesn't know what a yellow box is, in London there's gridded yellow boxes, and if you accidentally stop in them, you get a nice £60 fine. Well, at least it was £60 last time I checked. So yeah, that can be quite frustrating, and sometimes when you're in London you don't really have a choice, because otherwise the cars will just keep cutting in left, right and centre. So that can. Now, being a truck driver can be quite lonely. You are out on the road a lot of time on your own, but that's not always a bad thing, especially if people do your head in. I'm one of those people that I have tolerance, but there's a limit. So being in an office with somebody all day, to me, just really doesn't appeal. So that's the great thing about this job. You can have as little or as much interaction with humans as you like. Also, a good pro about this job is that there is a lot of different types of work, which means that there's a lot of different flexibilities in hours, such as you can do night shifts, morning shifts, evening shifts, late shifts, whatever suits you. So although it can be quite antisocial, if you do have a young family and you don't know, you need to be there during the day or whatever, then it might work for you. It's not to say it's the best, but it definitely can be something that you can work with. And as a HGV driver, there's one thing that you can be assured about. There's always a high demand. So you're never going to be out of work, so job security is pretty decent. The pay is relatively good. It pretty is a good all-round job. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some other cons, like you do long hours. You might not get to spend as much time with the family as you would in some other jobs, because let's face it, we generally do 10 to 15 hours a day, whereas most little 9 to 5 jobs, you know, 8-10 hour days, it would be nice. But you're not going to get the money that you get doing this job. It's one of those careers as well where I've had a look online and compared it to other jobs. Now, some solicitors earn what truck drivers do. Now, they have to go to do law degrees and all that stuff for 7 years, some of them. And don't get me wrong, eventually they will earn a lot more, up into the, you know, almost 100 grand, I'm sure. But as a start and a job that you can literally go and do your license and be done within a week, we don't get paid too bad. So bear that in mind. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.